So get this, the other day on the way to the office, I saw that my daughter was drawing a dinosaur and it really got my attention. And since the big focus of our channel is to show you that you can start from nothing, I came up with an idea. What if I created a clothing brand for my kids that could one day be $1 million brand?
We got $4 so far.
So in this video, the goal is to set the foundation, design it, make it, and launch it, and take you guys behind the scenes as we make this happen. The ultimate goal is to gift this to her for her 5th birthday. That means that we have a little under 14 days to make this possible, so let's get to work. For this brand to one day be worth $1 million, it's important that we start with building a community, having strong online sales, and a good social following. Now, this sets the foundation to have a strong valuation multiple. This is how investors and maybe even people that want to buy the brand are valuing your company. But a more notable example is Supreme, which is an apparel company that was acquired by VF Corporation. At the time of them getting purchased, they had $700 million in sales. Guess how much VF Corporation bought it for? $2.1 billion, which means that they had a valuation multiple of 3 times their revenue. Damn! So when you're building a brand, it's important to keep in mind how can you raise the valuation multiple and get the most of what you're doing. Because chances are you may not be doing this for 50 years and you may want to be able to build a brand that you could sell or raise investments from other people in order for it to grow. And speaking about investments, let's see how much these kids have available to invest into this brand. So we started by breaking open the piggy bank.
I got money! I've been saving this for years!
Or this baby bottle full of change to see what we had to work with.
Who's the president of the quarter, Elena? Did George Washington put all the 4s right there and just put them all together? So we got $4 so far. This is $4 right here.
Well, let's face it, to launch a premium brand, we're gonna need more than $10, right? Well, maybe not, because I came up with the idea of sourcing for products on no other than Temu. And I know what you're gonna say, but John, Temu is trash. Why would you source from there? And yes, that may be true that Temu is exploiting workers and using fabrics and chemicals that are unknown to the human body. But that's besides the point, because there are good things on Temu, and that's the goal for us, to find that diamond in the rough. Now, when it comes to buying products, it's important to know the fabric blends before you purchase anything. Products that have a polyester mixed with cotton is like adding water to your soda. It dilutes the overall taste. But manufacturers do this for one of 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is that it reduces the overall cost, as cotton can be expensive to source. But the second is also in strengthening the fabric. This also reduces breathability, which makes it feel warmer. For our products, we want it to be 100% cotton, no additives. And since the dinosaur that my daughter drew reminded me of a Bathing Ape's baby Milo, I wanted to look for products that were in the denim category. Things that could really stand out and command higher prices. So we'll choose a couple of jackets that look promising here. But right now you may be wondering, why not just source from Alibaba? Now, Alibaba is a great resource if you're gonna buy wholesale and you need to get it at a lower cost. But in our example, in order to reduce the cost, it would actually require that we invest $500 to get the minimum order quantity from that factory. Whereas in Temu, I could buy that 1 jacket and I get it within 3 to 5 days. But before I pull the trigger on the Temu products, I think I should ask my daughter if she has some extra money laying around.
2, 3.
Do you have $500?
No, I don't!
And with that answer, we had no choice and we had to place the order from Temu, which came out to $80 after shipping, which also included some adult jackets. This put us over the $16.50 that we had in the bank, but we got them 3 days later. Now, the downside to Temu is that you don't know what you're getting, and in our example, we got some jackets that had these like plastics in them.
It smells like it's plastic or something. Like something's burning, yeah. I think it's just full of plastic toys.
Well, I didn't have a chance to wash this, so that means that the smell is gonna be on there, but what I'm gonna do is actually wash it after I make it. That way it tells me, hey, does the jacket hold up right? So we're gonna sample everything, market it, and then we're gonna test the wash and all that. And with the samples approved, it's time to finalize the brand direction. Now, at first I had no clue what the final direction to the dinosaur themed brand would be, but since we had Alina's drawing, we decided to vectorize it, which means that we converted the drawing into an actual art illustration. And since my kids came up with the idea, I found it fitting that they join me at work for the day, and we make some custom products using their drawings the street craft way.
No, he's coming.
John, hold on!
What happens when you bring your kids to work today.
He looks like you.
And as we were working on this, the idea for the brand name came to mind, and it was called the Amigo Dino Club. It's a fitting name for the three of us. Now, even though I love my daughter's drawing, I want to create something that could appeal to parents that may buy based on comfort and looks versus just a cute kid's drawing. Now, before we start to redesign this, I just want to note here that it's important that you take action on your ideas. Sometimes when things are in our thoughts, we overthink it, and until we actually put it out and take that first step, it's very hard to see where we should go with it. So I'm glad that we actually made the original products with my daughter and son, because that's how we came up with the brand name. And now that we see the products and the kids are wearing it, I'm able to see, if we want to sell at a premium price point, we need to elevate the look. But you won't really know that until you start taking action. So don't let the ideas get stuck in your head too long, or you may just be holding on to that for the rest of your life. So in order to do this, we had to redesign the entire dinosaur, and we had to create a logo that was a little bit more elevated. And since I'm no graphic designer, I decided to create a collaborative board on Kiddle. And through Kiddle, we were actually able to start compiling the inspiration for this. We put down the dinosaur that my daughter created, as well as all of the Bathing Ape Baby Milo designs, in order to start to create a graphic that could blend the idea of a sketch mixed with a vector graphic that could be appealing to kids of all ages and the parents who are going to be the ones buying the products. And a few days later, she gave me this dinosaur. Now this dinosaur here was exactly what I was imagining. Something that was still looked like a kid drew it, but it was more elevated for streetwear, gives us a really luxury premium look. I don't know what you guys think. Comment down below if you think we executed it correctly. Now, it's important to note when you guys are designing, something to always keep at the top of your mind is to remember who you're designing for. And when it comes to a kid's brand like this, you have to convince the parents that this is a cool design and that they should buy this for their kids. Now, this is a strategy that a Bathing Ape took with Baby Milo. They realized that, hey, parents like to buy luxury and premium goods. Why not also create a kids line that they could purchase at the time of checkout? And this worked out so well with their logo being that little monkey. So to begin the collection design, we're creating a line sheet and we're gonna finalize the color palettes for this 4-piece collection. Now, Kiddle's a great tool to help you design your own graphics. If you're not a graphic artist, you can use the AI prompts and some of the templates to help get you started. But if you are collaborating with external graphic designers, it also allows you to quickly leave notes and collaborate in real time. And after a few revisions, we came up with the core collection, which included matching jackets, 2 t-shirts, and a hat. And with the collection confirmed, next comes the sampling. Now, in order to execute on this brand, we're gonna start with pre-orders. Now, pre-orders allow you to book sales in advance so you can list the product, get people to buy, and then with that money, you can actually go fund your production. Now, sampling, you could either do in-house using a heat press and heat transfers like we're doing today, or you can contact your manufacturer and see how much they would charge you to produce a sample. And the beauty about using StreetCrafter Press Art is that you could print full color. It's a very nice way for you to sample products and see things in action. Because typically if you were to try to do a screen print with this, they would charge you multiple colors, they would then charge you a setup fee. You're in a couple hundred to thousands of dollars to launch. So if you guys are interested in getting your own gang sheet for a $30 price, we have an exclusive discount linked right below this video. Now, it's a limited time only, so make sure you take advantage of that. With the mock-ups we created next to us as a reference, we will press the sleeves first. So we're gonna get it like centered, like that. Stuck nicely on the fabric. Aside from the smell, we're off to a good start. Then we're gonna press the back of the jackets. We ran into issues with the buttons and then also some of the collar if I try to stick it in that big press. So what we're gonna do is just go to an old school iron. What I'm doing here is we'll grab the iron. So the iron, we just wanna make sure we get a good amount of pressure on the jacket. Check these jackets out. Not bad for spending $30 for an entire gang sheet. Check it out, check it out. Amigo Dino, we got the transfers. The next step is the embroidery. We are now less than 3 days away from my daughter's birthday. Yesterday we were pressing the jackets. Today I just received the embroidery files. We're about to go in the back and start making those jackets. But what's important to note about embroidery is that you gotta have simple graphics. The simpler they are, the cleaner they come out, which is why the outline of a dinosaur is gonna be perfect and give us a premium look versus just going with transfers on the entire jacket. In order for you to embroider products, you need to digitize your designs. And digitization essentially maps out the stitching pattern for the embroidery machine. This is telling the machine where it's gonna stitch, right? So it's essentially programming the machine to stitch into the fabric. Now this software mixed with the embroidery machine makes it easy for anyone to start an embroidery business. Personally, I've only ever seen professional setups, so when I saw the touchscreen on this Melco Summit and the ease of use through barcode scanning, I knew that this machine was gonna be perfect for everything that we do here. Since we only have one of these jackets, we want to make sure that we don't mess it up. So we got a test jacket that has a similar fabric. It's super important to test your stitching before you place your final garment, as you may need to make adjustments to the settings on the machine in order for them to come out right. Test looks promising. All right, and look at that. That's the noise that says, honey, dinner is served. We got the test done, time to put the real jacket in. That is a design that we are going to embroider on this part of the jacket. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to embroidery is the hoops. So in this example, we're limited to the size because it's got to fit in this hoop. But whenever you're designing anything for embroidery, it's important to keep in mind there are certain dimensions and certain places that you can and cannot put an embroidery hit. We're just going to go ahead and pull in our designs. We have it loaded on his USB. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, guys, now we're gonna move on to the hat part of things. Nice. I love the sound of that. This thing is coming out incredible. And that's the beauty about the Melco embroidery machines, guys, is that they make it really beginner friendly for you to start an embroidery business. So whether you're thinking about doing it for your own brand or thinking about launching embroidery as a service, these machines here can really take care of the job, small or big. But I think one of the most powerful things that these machines have is the ability to integrate with Melco's intelligent embroidery system. And part of that system is their Melco Fusion software. Now the software allows customers who are visiting your store to personalize your products, such as adding names or numbers or slogans to the things that you define in the design. Now once they check out, the software pulls the files and allows you to print it on demand, as the machine auto-loads the embroidery file and all the details that you need to make the order. Now embroidery on demand is new, and Melco is leading the way to making it easier to run an embroidery business from home or at a professional shop. And if you're looking to get equipment like this to run your operation, I recommend you reach out to them through the links that we included down below, as we link their contact information. Check that out, check that out. Incredible. I'm really excited because these designs are coming out awesome. So now we're literally just gonna knock these out, and then we are ready to photograph and just start marketing this collection. So let's knock this thing out, man. And before we dive into marketing, it's important that we talk about the manufacturing options you have. Now, pre-orders are a great way to gauge demand, meaning do people like what you have? Are they commenting? Are they sharing? Are they asking you for different sizes? All of that is a good indication that you're in the right path. And if people are buying, but sales are slow to take off and you can't meet that minimum order quantity with a factory, then making them yourself in-house like we just showed you is a great option. But if you don't have the time and space to make things on your own, this is when working with a manufacturer comes into play. Now, if you're looking to do custom jackets like we are, then it's gonna require that you do things in bulk. You're gonna need to bulk manufacture this, which means that you need to have a pretty good budget. And when it comes to the t-shirts, you do have an option to do things with print on demand. These graphic designs can be printed on demand with t-shirt blanks, so it's important that you find a supplier that can stock bulk products while also printing on demand. And if you're watching this right now but need some suppliers as well as some resources to help you launch and grow, we created something that we call the Clothing Brand Playbook. I'm gonna link it in the description down below. In that playbook, we included design assets for you to be able to design a whole collection, as well as a manufacturing list that'll give you connections to the US as well as overseas to make almost any product you can imagine. We also threw in a bunch of other bonuses because the goal is to help you start and grow regardless of your budget. So if you want to learn more, check out the link in the description. But now it's time for us to get that site launched because we're a couple days away from her 5th birthday, and I want to make sure that this site is live. Now, in order to launch this website, we're going to be using Shopify, and Shopify is pretty much the gold standard when it comes to e-commerce. So if you're interested in getting started, we're going to link a $1 trial for 3 months. So you pay $1 a month for your first 3 months in order to start building out your site, launching it, selling it, making money with it, and then once you've proven it out, you can pay for the subscription. Once you click on that, you're going to be taken to the sign up page. It's really easy to get started. Just fill out the information. The little survey they give you is all about setting up your dashboard to help you get started. Once you pay your first $1, you are good to start designing out the store. And in this dashboard is essentially where you're going to be operating your business. So in order to launch a store, you're going to need a website theme. Now the theme is essentially where your products and your imagery is going to be hosted. Now through the theme store, if you go free, there's 13 themes you could choose from. But what's important to know is that you want to choose a theme that resonates with your target audience and your demographic. Whether you're looking to launch a beauty store, you might use a beauty theme, or if you're looking to launch a drink company, there's a drink theme, right? So they kind of condense the most popular themes. Now it's got the banner image, which is cool, and then it's got the product spotlight. This one could be a good potential. It's a good starting point. Another thing that you're looking at is features in terms of how the actual store works. So the clickability, how they add to cart, meaning how does it work? How does it zoom in? How do the product images load? Like all of these little features you can't necessarily change. So you're looking for something that has the features that you want, in addition to the way that they display the products that could resonate to your brand. Right. You see they got that big imagery, keep product focus. Gonna be this one. All right, let's try it. I think we found the winner here. Once you find the theme that you like, you just add it to your store. From here, it'll be pulled up into this theme library, and you could customize it before you publish. Now, in order to design it, this is why working with platforms like Kittl is really easy because you can make adjustments in real time. So I'm gonna bring in the logo of our dinosaur, which is gonna be the outline one. And we're gonna use that as the logo for the top of the website here. I'm just gonna throw some placeholder images here. These are some of the photos I took of the products that we just got done making. So I'm gonna leave that there so you can kind of see how this functions for the banner page. It's a very simple site. Since we don't have a lot of products, this is gonna be perfect. It's gonna be a great place to showcase the key collection and then the t-shirts underneath it. But in order to book sales for a pre-order, you are gonna need good photography, incredible product descriptions, and really good details of what it is that you're selling. Now, what better models to choose than the kids that actually made this brand? So I brought my kids in, and for me at this time, I was a little anxious, I gotta be honest, because this was the very first time they were going to see this. I've been building this without them knowing about it, and I wanted to actually get their real reactions. And I needed to show it to them before their birthday because on their birthday, I wanted to give them their website. So in order for us to launch a proper website, we needed photography. And this time was the very first moment that they were gonna see this product. So I showed it to Alina, and this is what she said. I wanted to show you something that I made you. Are you ready?
Well, nice.
Oh, you almost saw it? Okay, ready? Open them. Ta-da!
Ooh.
What do you think?
Good.
Do you like it?
Good.
Yeah?
Love it.
Is it pretty cool?
Yeah, I want to design
Look at it.
Ooh, is that a dino?
Yeah, do you like that little dinosaur?
Mm-hmm.
And then look what it says right there. What does that say?
Dinosaur.
Amigo.
Dino Club.
Aha. Her approval meant everything to me because that appealed to kids, and I wanted to design it for adults, something that I would wear, that I could see other parents wear, and I think we hit the nail on the head with this design. And one more. In order for us to accomplish this shoot, I needed to bribe them with ice cream because these actors and these models are not cheap. Wow, we did it. Working with kids, it's hard, especially when they're your own. You want to sample the product to the person that you're going to be shooting. So in this case, I knew that I was gonna shoot Alina and Zion, and since Alina is 5 years old and Zion is 3, I knew that the extra small would fit a little oversized on Zion, but fit just right with Alina. So if you're looking at this right now, you can see Alina's rocking it really nicely. She's having some fun. But when Zion comes in, he looks a little bit more serious. It's a little bit more oversized, more streetwear looking. And that's how we styled the kid. You know, we just pulled out the biggest pairs of pants that he had, and this is how the shoot came out. And overall, I was really, really impressed with what we captured in such a short amount of time, because working with kids, it's hard work. You have their attention for like this amount of time. So that's also something to keep in mind whenever you're working with talent, is how much time do they have to commit to the project, get as much as you can done. So make sure you're planning out your shoot. And the last piece of advice before we dive into the marketing portion of it is to know where you're gonna be using your photos. So for me, the goal for this photo shoot was about getting banner images for the website, as well as product photography, those up close images of the jacket for the product listing. And then I also wanted to get some images for the email campaigns. Now, these are all important things that you need to have in advance, so you go check the box off of every single one and you make the most of your time with whoever it is that you're working with. Because with these images, it's time for us to actually start marketing. Now, in order to maximize all of your marketing efforts, email is one that you need to focus on. And when it comes to an email marketing platform, there's a lot of different ones out there, but the one that is easy to start with and has all the tools that you need is OmniSend. Now, when it comes to OmniSend, they make it easy for you to get started with some easy templates, but then also their onboarding takes minutes. You can actually install it directly from the Shopify App Store. So go look for OmniSend and it'll come up. There's a free plan available, so you don't have to pay for anything. You can get started completely for free. You can literally get your whole entire site set up in minutes. They have some really cool AI tools and features that allow you to just build out your campaigns and maximize everything that you're doing with your brand. So we're gonna quickly start designing that thing out. So we have the website launched, the email marketing campaigns launched, and then the social media is all set up as well. Now I have less than a day. I got a couple hours for me to finish this so I can deliver it to them in time for their birthday, because she doesn't know I'm doing this. So let's jump into that. Hey, Alina, I have something for you. Remember the other day we were making stuff at the office? Sit down, sit down. Remember we were making stuff at the office? What? Well, I have your guys' website. You know what a website is?
What?
It's where people can buy your stuff.
Okay.
You ready to see it? Ready? Welcome to Amigo Dino Club. It comes in 2 colors, pink or it comes in white.
I want pink.
You want the pink one?
I
Pretty cool, huh? Now, I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the funnest projects I've worked on in a very long time. I mean, just seeing how we could take a drawing and create something completely new out of it, but still inspired by that original direction, is something I hope can teach you and show you that you can start with whatever you have. As long as you have an inspiration or idea, you can make it a reality if you're willing to just take that next step. And if you guys enjoyed this and you want me to continue on this series, leave a comment down below with what we should cover in a future video, and we'll get to working on that. Because the goal of this video was to set the foundation for the brand. It was all about creating the logo design, the initial direction, putting it out into the market, and then seeing what we can get for sales. So we're gonna be following up on this, and if you guys are interested, make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications to be alerted if future video drops. And right now, if you're watching this, maybe you wanna watch another video, you're not really sure. Well, I actually linked a video here that breaks down how to start a luxury brand regardless of your budget. Now, this has some marketing tips as well as some different suppliers that you can start using. See you then.